The purpose of this video is to show how to calculate discounts and then sale prices. And a discount in the price of some goods or services is a reduction. It reduces, and it's often by a percentage, but not always. It could be like 1/3 off or half off, but it's most often a percentage. Retail or online stores often use discounts to increase sales or to liquidate or get rid of old stock. And so a few examples here on the first page. Jocelyn has been waiting for her favorite badminton racket to go on sale. The regular price is $124.99. But today it's listed at 40% off. So two questions: how much is the racket discounted? And then what's the new sale price? So first of all, to calculate the discount, we'll take the $124.99, and since it's 40% off, 40% as a decimal is 0.40. Remember, if you forget how that works, if you take the 40 and divide it by 100, percent means out of 100, there's the 0.4 or 0.40. So that's why we're multiplying 124.99 by 0.40. And if you do that, maybe I'll keep the calculator here, 124.99 times 0.40, we get 49.996. Now remember, this is money. We want to round to two decimal places, so that 6 is a 5 or bigger, so it makes the 99 cents round up to $1, and so this would round to $50 even. So the racket is discounted $50. Now to get the sale price, we take the $124.99, the regular price, and subtract the $50. And so if we do that, the $124.99 minus $50 gives us a sale price of $74.99. So that's what the racket would be on sale for. Second example on page 2. Marcus broke his cell phone and must now buy a new one because he didn't buy the warranty plan. And often, if you want a fairly new phone, they're not cheap. Often you're not replacing it for $50 or $100. The new cell phone he wants costs $650, but it's listed as 25% off. In addition, for today only, the phone is marked down another 15% off the sale price. So it's 25% off, and then after that they take another 15% off. And the first question is says, is the phone 40% off the original price? And the reason it's asked if it's 40% off, if you add 25 and 15 add to 40. But it's not actually going to be 40% off, because it's not 40% off because the second discount, the 15%, is calculated off after the first sale price, after the 25% is taken off. So you can't just add the 25 and 15 and get 40% to be 40% off. And we'll actually show that calculation, what the actual percentage is off in part D here. So B asks to calculate each discount. And when we do that, you'll see more of why, if you're not getting it yet, why it's not actually 40% off. So the first discount, we'll take the $650 and we'll multiply it by 0.25. 0.25 because that's 25%. So maybe we'll get the calculator back here again. And so 650 times 0.25. So we get 162.5, which would be $162.50. So that's the first discount. Now you'd have to figure what the sale price is after that discount. So to get the first or original sale price, we'll take the $650 and we'll subtract this discount. So if you do that, you get $487.50. So if it wasn't the additional 15% off, that's what Marcus would be paying. Now we're going to calculate the second discount. So the second discount is on this. So we're finding 15% of $487.50. So again, in A, it's not 40% off the whole thing, because this 15% is only off that sale price. It's not off the $650. So if you multiply, and again, we'll do this here. So $487.50 times 0.15. So we get 73.125. Now that 5 would make the 2 round up to a 3, so it's going to be 13 cents on the end. So $73.13 is the second discount. So that's the amount of each discount. Now, C asks to find the final price. So the final price, we would take this 487.50 and subtract it 73.13. Actually, there's more than one way to do this, actually. So 487.50, the sale price after the 25% off, minus the second discount. We could also do this. We could also go 650 minus this discount, 162.50, and then minus the $73.13. That will work as well and give us the sale price. So 414.37 is, no matter which of those two ways you do it, is the final sale price after the 25% is taken off and then another 15% off. So that's how much you'll be paying if he buys it today. Now, D asks, what is the actual discount percentage? What actual percentage? If it isn't 40, what is it? So what we need to figure out is the total discount. When I did this calculation a minute ago, which really, what do those two numbers add up to? So that's why I'm adding the $62.50, $162.50, and the $73.13. So if you add $162.50 and $73.13, then that is the total discount, $235.63. So this is going to be $235.63. And so we want to figure out, when in D asks, what is the actual discount percentage? We're trying to figure out what percent that is of the original $650 price. So the percentage discount would be that $235.63 divided by 650, and then that will give you a decimal, and then we multiply it by 100. So a lot of people like to do this 235 in 2 steps. So we'll divide that by the 650. Okay, so there's the decimal, and then we multiply it by 100. So it would be 36.25%. I just rounded to the nearest percent. I didn't worry about the 0.25. So to the nearest percent, it would be 36% off. So it would be the same as just taking 36% off. Well, 36.25 if you wanted to be a little more accurate. Last example on the third page here. A new car is listed at $32,190, and a sale today gives a 10% discount. And what is the sale price, you're asked? Now, what I want to show in this one is a little different way to do the discount if all you want to do is just find the final price. So the discount is 10%. And that means the buyer is still paying 90% of the original price. See, if we take our calculator here and start at 100% and subtract 10%, then, okay, that's the discount. You're still paying 90% of the original amount. So another way to do this, if you don't really care to know the number of dollars in discount, you just want to find the final price, is to take this $32,190 and find 90% of it. Finding 90% of it takes 10% off. And so this is what the calculation would look like. So the price today with 10% off would be $28,971. So that's the sale price today. Could have done the same thing with like Marcus's phone on the previous page. So here's the calculation. And you see, if you remember from the previous page, and maybe just to jog your memory, I'm going to go back here for a second. Remember the previous page? The final price was $414.37. Okay, so just remember that. $414.37. Actually, maybe what we'll do, 414. We'll put it in the calculator here so it's easy to see. And we'll bring the calculator back up in a moment. Okay, so Marcus's phone. Okay, so there's our 414.37. What we could do instead is we could take the 650 and see if Marcus is getting 25% off, then he's still paying 75%. And then after that, he's getting another 15% off. Now 15% off means you're still paying 85%. So again, 25% off means you're still paying 75% of the original price, and then the 15% means you're still paying 85. For example, the 100 minus 15, okay, you're still paying 85%. So this will actually give you one calculation, 650 times 0.75 times 0.85. Okay, gives you the 414. Now, it's going to be off by a penny because we did do a little bit of rounding the last page, but that will generally give you the calculation within a penny, and it'll often be exactly right. Okay, so that's a quicker way to get that same calculation, 414.37. And the nice thing about that, I mean, if you had multiple discounts, like, you know, let's say you had something that was $5,200, and you know, let's say they're gonna take 10% off, so you're still paying 90, and then after that they want to, let's say, take 25% off, so okay, we're still paying 75%, and if you could keep on going, you know, they said, okay, we'll take another 40% off, okay, 40%, so we're still paying 60, and you could keep on going. You could just multiply by the percentage remaining every single time. So if you had something worth $5,200 and you take 10% off, and then 25% off, and then 40% off, it would be down to $2,106. So if you had a lot of discounts, that would be a very quick way to get the final answer. And that's the end of the tutorial.